Gotcha. Ah, that's better.
ProtectYourBubble.com. Proud sponsors of Swipe on Sky News.
You're watching Swipe. On the show this week, helmets with brake lights and radar on the roads. The tech hoping to make cycling safer. I take a look at the thermal imaging being used to detect riders in the capital. And as always, our pick of this week's games releases. Hello, welcome to Swipe. This week we're taking on the streets of London on two wheels. Cycling is more popular than ever before, but it's getting harder to stay safe. But don't be disheartened. Will's been taking a look at the technology being used to make cycling less dangerous.
Cycling is a healthy thing to do, but it can also be dangerous. Over the last decade, around 25,000 riders have been killed across Europe, but new technology could help to make roads safer. The bike helmet already does a good job of protecting us, but one inventor thinks he's improved it. By using a wireless remote, Lumos signals the direction you want to turn and flashes when you want to stop.
Before you make the turn, you press the right button that wirelessly activates the right turn signal on your helmets. A beep goes up, the beeper on the helmet goes off so that you know that it's working. You give your hand signals as you normally would. You make the turn, you complete the turn, you press the button again, the light goes off.
Another helmet innovation is this, an airbag for your head. It uses sensors in a collar to track movement and inflates if you have an accident. But not all safety tech relies on sensors. Volvos come up with a reflective spray to help riders stand out, and these handlebar grips are fitted with LEDs, so vehicles are less likely to turn into them. But will any of this make a difference?
There is actually quite a danger that people rely on these gimmicks, these technologies, thinking that they have better protective effect than they do. They might have a small effect, but if people think, oh, I'm safe, I'm covered in fancy paint or bright lights, and the evidence is that that makes very little difference, then they're less likely to take as much care as they need to.
Radar's also being used to improve safety. This gadget from Garmin sits on the back of your bike and warns you if vehicles are approaching. And Transport for London are trialling radar sensors to detect cyclists. But that's not all.
We're sort of looking to the future and seeing what opportunities there are to get better data as to how people are using the existing transport systems and road network, how people are using London as a place, and looking towards what the industry can provide in terms of sort of spatial data, positional data. Some of that might involve mobile telephone technology, GPS.
Another project being worked on by TfL involves thermal technology. So we sent Gemma out on her bike to find out how it works.
So this is Cycle Superhighway 3.
Yep.
And we're about to get caught on some very special cameras.
That's right, what we've done for the first time ever is installed some thermal imaging cameras up here to detect cyclists, so we can use those to change the traffic signal timers to help them out.
Okay, and where are these cameras?
Well, they're just up here, so if we have a look at the top of this traffic signal pole, you can see right at the top, right up there, we've got two black tennis ball looking detectors, and they're the thermal cameras.
So how useful is that?
It's really useful because the first time ever we can actually work out how many cyclists are coming through a junction, so we can help them out and get them moving on their way.
So does that mean that the busier this area is with cyclists, the longer the motorists are going to have to sit and wait because we'll have a green light?
Yeah, what we're doing is trying to balance the needs of everyone, so the cyclists, the vehicle drivers, the people in the buses and the people in taxis.
Yeah, and how will you know when the trial's been successful?
So we're just concluding our second stage of trials right now, and by the end of the year we should know just how effective these cameras really are.
Okay, well we've got a green light.
Let's go.
So let's go. You're watching Swipe. Up next, this week's gaming delights. But first, here's a bite-sized chunk of other tech news from the past few days. Professor Stephen Hawking launched a $100 million hunt for aliens this week. It'll be the most comprehensive search ever for alien life, with scientists scanning 1 million of our nearest stars over the next decade, listening for potential radio signals. The project is being funded by tech billionaire Yuri Milner.
There is no bigger question. It's time to commit to finding the answer to search for life beyond Earth. We are live, we are intelligent, we must know.
Cameras are being embedded into rhinos' horns in South Africa so that rangers can catch poachers in the act. The British team behind the project are also using heart rate monitors that are triggered during an attack. A GPS tracker then tells rangers where the animal is and they can head to the scene. Looks like the selfie stick just got an upgrade on crowdfunding site Indiegogo. Using the Solo Cam, you can present your own shows without the need for a camera crew. With an attached microphone and joystick control, away you go, mojos. That's mobile journalists to you and me. Now it's time for a look at the latest video games releases. Here's Luke Kamali.
PlanetSide 2 is a shooter, but it's a shooter unlike anyone you've probably played before. So the first thing and the most important point is that it's completely free. You don't have to pay anything and you can download it right now on your PS4. And basically, the scale of it is the thing to take into account. It actually holds the Guinness World Record for the biggest firefight ever taken place in a virtual game. Over 1,000 people competing in one firefight. And the idea is when you first start, you choose one of 3 factions and you basically represent them. And you can choose from 6 classes, and you are fighting for control of 4 massive continents in this huge open world. The key is all about team play, so you want to be moving around with your teammates, because if you go it alone as a lone wolf, it may be tempting, but shockingly, one person against a massive army isn't going to do too well. It's a great game, it's very different to anything people have played before, and as I say, it's free to play, so all PS4 owners should definitely be checking that one out.
Finish them off.
F1 2015 is the 6th licensed installment in the F1 franchise from Codemasters, who are known for producing great racing games. Unfortunately, this time around with F1 2015, none of that's there. There's only 2 game modes, and the only real difference is a bit of difficulty, which isn't too exciting, and it only focuses on the 2014-2015 season. The sad thing is, usually I'd be able to say, if you're a massive F1 fan, you should definitely pick this up because there's something for you. But unfortunately, there's a lot of good races out there, from Drive Club to Project Cars and even Forza. So if you are a big racing fan, you really should be spending your money on those, and this time around, give F1 2015 a miss. Game of Thrones Episode 5 is the penultimate chapter in Telltale's story, and it follows House Forrester as they continue to try and survive in Westeros. So the way it works, for those who don't know, is this story kind of weaves in and out of the narrative that we see in the books and the shows. So you're interacting with characters like Cersei, Tyrion, Daenerys, which is all very exciting and very good. Usually we're used to seeing the penultimate episode in the show, and even in Telltale's other series like The Walking Dead, being full of excitement, lots of good stuff happening. This time around it kind of feels like they missed an opportunity. The choices they set up don't really seem to have much of an impact. The pacing's a bit odd, and for some reason Telltale's writers just can't nail Daenerys. They very much seem to be writing a character who's a lot more devious and ruthless than she ever is in the shows. So that doesn't really work. However, there are some good points. Their scenes with Cersei and Tyrion are exquisite, and their finale really looks to be a big one, considering the choice that you make at the end of this episode is pretty big.
That's it for this week. Don't forget to take a look at Sky News on iPad and mobile for some bonus features from this week's episode. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Gotcha. That's better.
ProtectYourBubble.com, proud sponsors of Swipe on Sky News.